A product edge is when you ask, is my product or my service exactly what all my customers want? And inevitably the answer is no. You may have it absolutely right for the average customer, but you'll always have different customer segments with slightly different needs. Some want slightly more, some want slightly less.
A great example of a product edge is when you buy a television set. The retailer will offer an extended warranty, so that if anything goes wrong with that television set, you have the peace of mind that you can be compensated or get a new one. The extra $20 or $30 you pay for that warranty transforms the profitability of that television set for the retailer.
If you think about the airline industry, what did JetBlue do when they introduced even more space? It didn't change the overall complexion of the base transaction. They're still in the business of getting people from point A to point B. But for those who need a little more legroom, they can now avail themselves of that. And that created a huge profit profile for the company, which didn't exist before.
A journey edge is the second type of edge that we defined, having looked at the way different companies take that mindset. Because when I think about the end that my customer is going to, it's probably not finished when I've finished with them. They're going somewhere else. And if I think about that, what permission do I have to help them get there? And companies that have taken the mindset of a journey edge recognize that they have more permission to go further in that journey.
A journey edge could be as simple as a company that offers heads of lettuce, cutting them up and preparing salads. If you think about that category, which is now a multi-billion-dollar category, it took an entirely commodity product, added a marginal amount of labor, bagged it, and completely transformed the economics into a high-margin product. It's a journey because the customer looks at the lettuce and says, well, I can bring the lettuce home, but I still have a lot of work ahead of me, right? I have to cut that up, I have to prepare that for a meal. But if you do that work for me, I'm willing to pay for that, I'm more satisfied, and it's a lot higher margin for you.
But they were able to enter into that growth strategy incrementally without major bold investments. When grocery stores recognized that customers had a need for food service, they didn't go out and build restaurants. They incorporated into their existing stores, maybe initially with one or two aisles, but now it's become a core part of their business.
When you think about what a company actually is, it's a stack of foundational assets. It has, maybe have real estate, it has human capital, it has technology and data, but all those things basically serve an end, which is to drive to a successful core offering. But in assembling that stack of foundational assets, you've inadvertently picked up some things that are useful to other folks as well.
A great example of a company that took advantage of an enterprise edge that maybe people don't recognize is actually Amazon, the retailer. Everybody knows them as an online retail giant, but they recognized when they were investing in their core business that they'd built a huge asset in the ability to run a cloud-based infrastructure of servers and web platforms that operate across that. Well, what they'd built was not uniquely valuable to them, because any company that needed to have not just retail, but any kind of infrastructural backbone would also want that kind of capability. And today, that's actually one of the most profitable parts of their business that not a lot of people know about.
Very simple example, just imagine a farm that could be in the business of raising cattle. It has a bunch of foundational assets, but not least of which is the land on which the cattle graze. An enterprise edge for that farm might be putting windmills on top of the farm. It doesn't interrupt the farming operation at all. It doesn't disrupt the cattle. But what you've done is you've unlocked a brand new revenue stream where you can sell electricity through cogeneration to energy companies and completely change the economics of the base farming.